Hi, I'm Jill Lally, and I'd like to welcome you to the DeFabio Difference for Better Health Management. With me in his kitchen is Dr. Donald C. DeFabio, a tri-board certified chiropractic physician. Dr. DeFabio will discuss and prepare some life-enhancing recipes to improve the way we can eat and feel. Doctor?
Well, thanks for that wonderful introduction, Jill. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, I'd like you to consider this a pilot maybe for the docs in the kitchen. I mean, that could be like a pilot maybe, so.
There you go, viewers. It's all about you.
Exactly. Jill, I was thinking about sharing what I've been talking about in the office with a lot of my patients. It's a recipe a patient actually shared with me, homemade yogurt. Because gut health is really important, eating fermented foods is really important. So I thought we would talk about some homemade yogurt, and we're going to pair that with a cranberry nut compote, and that should be a nice pairing, although the yogurt will be a standalone. And then the second dish is going to be braised lentils. And there actually is a good relationship between lentils and the fruits and the berries and the nuts, and how they're going to enhance each other nutritionally. So it's all going to tie together, and I think the bottom line is the foods we're talking about today I think are all going to be immune boosting, okay? For the gut, they're going to help heal the gut, okay? But they're also going to be overall immune boosting. So that if we had an overall theme, that's what I was thinking. So if that's all right with you, I would like to go in that avenue.
I really appreciate that you want to discuss the food, the value of food, because there's such confusion in today with the industry of what to eat, what not to eat, but why are we eating it? And I hope that you will discuss in preparing these recipes the why and the value.
Let's get started, but we can talk as we cook. How's that sound? Okay. The yogurt, we're going to start with some milk. Now, what kind of milk am I using? I'm using A2 milk. It's a type of milk that's easily absorbed. It is also 1% milk. Can you just put that in the sink for me, Jill? Because I don't want the fat. If you do want a whole milk, that's okay. But pick an organic milk regardless of the type that you pick. If you do get a milk that's got fat in it, you want to get one that's grass-fed. So those fats are high in omega-3 fatty acids or good fats. And of course, no hormones, no preservatives, as minimally processed. So I used 2 pints or a quart of milk. Why? Because I have 2 containers. So the first time I made all this yogurt, and I realized, wait a minute, I have to have the exact amount of containers. Okay. And we'll show you how the containers match directly with the volume. So we put the water in there. Now, the key with this, I always rinse out with the pan briefly with a little bit of fresh water and wipe it dry. Because you don't want any of that residue that might be there from when you last washed the pot, okay? So a little bit of the soap in there could destroy the good bacteria that we're going to help to build. So when you make your yogurt, everything's got to be super, super clean. And again, I rinse I use stainless steel and I rinse them all right before I do it to, keep it clean.
That's a great tip for the viewers and our patients.
Yeah. So that's got to come to a boil. Periodically we'll stir it, but that's just got to cook. So cranberry compote. So right here we have a mixing bowl. Isn't that wonderful? Some cranberries, please, Jill. This is a pound bag of cranberries, rinsed, okay? Take out any ones that are all soft and starting to deteriorate. So you just pour them in water, rinse them out, all right? This is very simple, okay? We have coconut. We're gonna use about half a cup of coconut. Now, dry, unsweetened coconut. Can you use sweetened? Sure you can. But what's it going to be sweetened with? Read your labels. A lot of times it's sweetened with corn syrup. A lot of times it's sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. A lot of times there's additives and preservatives when food is processed. Read your labels. I used organic, unsweetened. I'll show you where we're going to get the sugar. So that's there. since you're doing such a great job at feeding me here, I'll need the walnuts and the pecans. We'll use equal amounts of walnuts and pecans, a half a cup of each, chopped. Go right in there, okay? And some dates, please. Now, dates are really good for you, all right? We're gonna use 6 dates that are chopped. Dates are high in lots of antioxidants, so they're really healthy for you. And even though they're very sweet, they're full in fiber, so the amount of fiber in the dates actually makes them beneficial at maintaining blood sugar levels, ironically. And there's lots of minerals in there as well. So, and there's different varieties of dates. Different dates have different health benefits. These are just plain old, pitted dates from the store. But if you want to use different types of dates to get a higher degree of sustenance, you can. So those are the dates we're not using. But you can eat 5 or 6 dates a day, and research has shown it's actually lowered people's blood glucose, blood sugar levels. Go figure. Now, there's not much fluid in here. There's no fluid in here, and it's still kind of tart because of the cranberries. So let's add some sweetness. I'm going to use marmalade. Okay, the orange and cranberries always go really well together. Coconut, all these flavors really pair nicely. So I use a marmalade, a store-bought. Can I make my own? No, I can't. So I buy store-bought. But what did I buy? I bought an all-fruit orange marmalade. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir. I'm going to change subjects on you. You got to just keep an eye on the yogurt, because once the milk starts to boil, you got to shut it off right away. As soon as it starts to froth up, okay? So this is a spreadable fruit filling, and I'll use, this is a 10-ounce jar, about 8 ounces. If you want it sweeter, put in the whole 10 ounces. If you buy one that is not made with just fruit juice, it's going to be sweeter. It's going to have high fructose corn syrup in it, probably. It may just have plain old sucrose or glucose in it, but read the labels. I mean, on this one, it's juice concentrate, pineapple, grape, orange peel, citric acid, all right, but fruit pectin. Pectin's good stuff. We are going to be getting a lot of pectin today. Pectin is the prebiotic fiber that feeds the probiotics that we're going to make here. Ooh, it's just starting to get ready. Okay, all right, it's getting there. See, it's starting to get a little glisten on the top.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you use a whole milk yogurt, you'll actually see the fat come up to the top. Okay, and it's kind of cool. Just like if you were to make a soup with a chicken, you put the chicken and it boils and all the fat comes to the top. You can see that happening if you use a whole milk yogurt as well. It's just starting to froth. Yeah, just a little bit. Now, yogurt is really simple to make, but boy, when you make your own, it is so tasty. Yeah, so what you're going to see now, Jill, is going to froth up, okay?
So can we show our viewers?
Yeah, I think we got a good shot of that. This will bring it to the correct temperature. And to be honest with you, I don't know what that is, but I want to give a shout out to Aisha, because she taught me how to do this. So thanks, Aisha. And I know the other patients are really going to enjoy it, because we've been talking a lot about making the homemade yogurt. Bingo. Done. Right there. Whoop, take it right off the heat. And that's just what we want to do when it gets to that point. And you remove it from the heat, and guess what? You leave it alone. Okay? Now, you can do it old school by temperature. We don't touch that until it gets to be about 110 degrees. But when you touch it with your finger, it's slightly warm, tepid. Hot tub is 105 degrees. You first get in the hot tub, ooh, it's a little warm, but it's not going to burn me. That's what you want that to feel like. Okay? All right? So we're going to keep an eye on that, but now we just leave it alone, and then we'll go on to making the yogurt. So back to the compote. Marmalade's in there. We talked about it's your choice what kind of marmalade you want to use. All right? But I choose a marmalade that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup, because high fructose corn syrup has been shown to create weight gain. It's been shown to be related to type 2 diabetes. It's been shown to be related to high cholesterol levels and something called metabolic syndrome, hypertension as well. Cranberries. Now, very high in antioxidants. They got that bitterness to them. You want to embrace bitter things because they're high in antioxidants. High in vitamin C, okay? They also have something in there called phenols, okay? Phenols are the chemical that it's got a little bite to it. That's what's beneficial with cranberries and people using it for urinary tract infections. It's the phenols in there that are beneficial. Phenols are also found in rosemary, which we'll be using, I use all the time to cook with. Phenols are also found in oil of oregano, that harshness, okay? And they're all very healthy. They create a lot of health benefits. In fact, have you heard of CBD?
Yes.
CBD oil is an extract of hemp, and people are using it for all sorts of things today. Really good for anxiety, for sleep, for chronic pain. Works very well. It balances the body, which is why it's such a good complement to chiropractic. It's all about restoring homeostasis. It's not the CBD itself, it's the phenols. And the different strains and percentages of the phenols drive the reaction. So the phenols are really important products. Not products, chemicals that are found in your vegetation. That's where they're found in. A grapeseed extract, really good antioxidant, great for inflammation, okay? Full of phenols, all right? So I take this, put it all in a little ramekin or however it is. This is something that's bakeable, all right? And it's gonna go in the oven at 350 for about an hour. If you're running short on time, cover it with aluminum. You can raise it up to 375 and it'll shorten up your cooking time, okay? Once it starts to bubble, it's done, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna slide that in and that's gonna cook away, all right? We can look at our hot milk. It's still very hot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Yeah, leave it alone. Are you gonna put your finger in there?
No.
No, okay, leave it alone. So while that's cooking, we're gonna start with our braised lentils with shiitake mushrooms and celery. Now, why do you think I picked shiitake mushrooms, Jill?
They sound great.
They do sound great. Good answer. Shiitake mushrooms, maitake mushrooms, cordyceps mushrooms, reishi mushrooms, the Japanese mushrooms are very good immune boosters. They help with brain health. They help stimulate the immune system. They have lots of medicinal value, and they've been used for thousands of years. So shiitake is just good as an immune booster, so that's why I use them, and because I can buy them.
They're available.
They're readily available. We'll talk about that in a second, but also the benefits of medicinal mushrooms are maintained with cooking. All right, so yeah, exactly. Now, how much benefit am I getting from 4 ounces of shiitake mushrooms? I really don't know, but I feel good about it, okay? So how are we gonna start? We're gonna start with some oil in a pan. 2 ounces, okay? I'm sorry, 2 tablespoons of oil and 1 tablespoon of butter. So, let's talk about butter. In small portions is not evil, but what kind of butter is it? It's butter from grass-fed cows that are organically raised, okay? There's lots of grass-fed butter out there from all different sources. You have to read your labels. A lot of times the butters from Europe, the Irish butter, Polish butter, from Finland, okay? Those butters are usually of a higher quality and they're usually grass-fed as a rule of thumb. Okay, so I usually end up buying imported butter. And how much am I using? A tablespoon, okay? I'm not eating a whole stick of butter, okay? And that'll give us just a nice little body and a nice little flavor because the mushrooms pair nicely with that. Now, your shiitake mushrooms, have these little stems, but the stems are rough. So we take the stems off, okay? So we remove the stems and we just use the caps. And you finely slice the caps, and that's what we have here. I have about 4 ounces of that, okay? So I'm just gonna put these over here. They can hang out with the dates for now, okay? But yeah, the stems you don't want, okay? So the butter's in the oil, just getting started. 1 medium onion chopped, okay? You can put that right in there, okay? Onion's really high in a chemical called quercetin, which is a really strong antioxidant, okay? Which means it neutralizes free radicals in your body, which are the leftover agents after a metabolic reaction. But quercetin is not heat stable. So if you want to get quercetin from onions, you got to eat your onions raw, okay? So onions do have other nutrient values, high in fiber, and there's also some vitamin C in here. But again, if you can get a nice sweet onion and tolerate eating it raw, you'll really get those quercetin values. Great for your liver too. So we're going to let that cook just a little bit, and then we're going to add the mushrooms. Once we add the mushrooms, we'll just kind of let it saute a little bit, but the onions are translucent, so add the mushrooms, turn it around a little. What are you doing? Be careful, be careful. Hold it over here. Hold it over here. She's lefty. Okay, good job. So just stir that around for a second. Now, people who cook with mushrooms know they throw off water. So I want them to throw off a little bit of water, all right? So I'm going to add some salt, a little bit of sea salt, just a little. You'll salt the dish to taste, but just a sprinkling of sea salt to help those mushrooms throw off their natural water. We want them to absorb a little bit of that butter and oil to give it some flavor, okay? But it's really not about the mushrooms. The mushrooms are the bonus for the nutritional benefit, for the immune benefit, okay? So extracts of shiitake mushroom, extracts of maitake mushroom, really, really good for immune boosting. You know, I take maitake every day as a supplement, every day. Lentils, green lentils are gonna go in here next, okay? These are soaked. Why do I soak them? It cuts down the cooking time, okay? Soak them, rinse them, make sure you take out any little rocks or dirt or seeds that might be in there, because actually lentils are actually a seed of a bean plant, the lentil bean plant. That's what makes them easier to digest than other forms of beans, okay? So let's put those in there. And then Jill, if you would grab the little gravy boat and pour that in. That's about a half, go ahead, a cup of white wine, okay? We're gonna let that kind of just cook off a little bit. Once that cooks off a little bit, we're gonna put celery in here. I like quite a bit of celery, so I'll use a whole cup of chopped celery, okay? Just let that alcohol cook off a little bit with 1 big or 2 little bay leaves, okay? All right. Now, it's gonna need more water or fluid or liquid. I use water just because I really like the flavor of the celery and the mushroom and the lentils. It just works for me. Can you use any sort of stock? Yeah, vegetable stock would be perfect. These make a great vegetable stock, okay, all the little trimmings you have. I don't make time to make my own vegetable stock. Can I buy it? Sure, you can buy an organic vegetable stock, okay? Or you can use a chicken stock, all right? You probably get away even with a lamb stock if you wanted. Beef might be a little heavy, but it's up to you, all right? So that alcohol's cooked off nicely. We're gonna put in the celery. Use some of the leaves of the celery. Celery is really high in vitamin C as well. Also high in antioxidants, lots of trace minerals in celery, lots of fiber, lots of water. But the leaves is where you get most of your nutrients in the celery, okay? So you want to get those leaves in, and that's where you get a lot of the flavor too. Stir that around.
Colors look great.
When I add my water, I use my electric kettle. The water's already boiling. Well, you eat with your eyes, Jill.
Yeah.
So when you say the colors are great, it's very important that...
Very appealing.
Yeah. And when you make your salads, they should have at least 3 colors in your salads. You need color in your diet, and that'll give you a different variety of nutrients as well. And then water, we're gonna add a cup, this is okay, of water. I use boiling water. It just gets it to cook so much quicker. All right, that was 1 cup of water. Keep the water around. You may need more. And we will just cover that. Oh, here it is. And bring it down to just a light simmer. Take about 30 minutes. These you want firm. Okay, you want them to have some substance. Sometimes I cook my lentils to death, and I want them as mush. And these are a green lentil, they'll maintain their firmness. Lentils are really high in protein, really high in fiber, a great plant-based source of protein. You know, I bought organic green lentils. I really want to reduce the toxic load. There's a lot of toxins, there's a lot of environmental chemicals that create disruption in our body. You got to get those out. And the first way you get them out is don't put them in. All right, so you really have to look at your foods and what you're eating. And we'll take a look in through here. See, nice, just a little bit of water or fluid if you want to use stock. Okay, I got to remember you're left-handed. You're my holder. I'm the stirrer. Great. We're going to put a little bit. I put black pepper in here. Sometimes I put a little red pepper in there. Let's take a quick temperature test since the show's been moving right along. And we are at 105. Perfect. Now, if you want, you can test it with your finger, but you got to wash your hands first. Yeah. Wash your hands really good, and you can put your little finger in there and just check it. So, how do you make yogurt? This is from my last batch of yogurt. This is a quart. This is almost 2 tablespoons. I just put it in. Now, I let it warm up to room temperature because I don't want to shock the microorganisms. This is kind of warm, so I let this warm up to room temperature, and you'll see it comes out pretty thick. So I'm going to stir it a little bit so it dissolves nicely. Now, what if I have a probiotic supplement I'm taking that I really like, that really I just feel good with it? Jill, will you grab me a little blurb in there, the ProbioMax. Open that up for me, please. So I just stir that in. Now, it's a capsule. There's no coating on the supplement itself. I can take that and put that right in here if I wanted to make a special batch, a special formula, okay? So just put it in there, all right? But if you can't use something that's coated, again, what you put in here is going to ferment and turn into yogurt. Just stir it around, mix it all up. Great. And then we take out, you can open that one, and I can open this one. Why did I make a quart? Because I have 2 pint-sized jars, all right? And just pour it in. And you can use any canning jar, all right? This is really convenient. I like the pint size because it's easy to transfer, it's easy to stack, just screw the lids on, and you can scoop out easily what you need. And once you open it, you want to use it pretty quickly. It'll stay in the fridge about 2 weeks. Now what do you do with it? You put it somewhere really warm. All right, so what I do is I have a little travel bag that's insulated. I'll put these in my insulated travel bag, keep it covered, keep it warm overnight, and you have yogurt in the morning. So the yogurt stayed in the insulated container overnight, right? I take it out from the insulated container overnight, put it in the fridge, all right? And then here it is. Open it up. There you go, nice and tight seal. And this is 1% yogurt. It is firm. It's great stuff, all right? So, a scoop of yogurt for you, and a scoop of yogurt for me. All right. And then now, cranberries I dress with a little bit of fresh ground flax. Okay? Again, we want to get those nutrients in there. And the fresh ground flax is high in ALA, another good beneficial fat. Okay? It converts to EPA, anti-inflammatory. Okay? So take a scoop of that and put that right on top. You get a little extra. That one's yours.
Thank you.
This one will be mine. So are we gonna have? I guess we'll have yogurt first. All right. So what do you think? Try it. She's going just for yogurt. I'm gonna go with yogurt and cranberries at the same time. Oh. Prebiotic, probiotic, fiber, omega-3s from the flax. I don't cook the flax. I keep it raw to really maximize the oil. The flax oil, it gets rancid very easily. So I really don't want to cook with it. So I put it on at the end.
This is fabulous.
Walnuts, flax, pecans, all good nuts that drive that anti-inflammatory cascade. So while you're doing that, wild rice, the braised lentils, we just dressed with a little bit of fresh parsley, okay, to dress it up a little bit, give it a little pop, and a little bit of fresh black pepper over the top, because the lentils are going to need some salt and pepper, all right? And we'll take a scoop of that and just put it right on top of the rice. And I'm going to give this to you, Jill, okay?
Thank you.
And I'm going to let you taste it because you're the hostess with the mostest.
Okay.
Do you have to have rice? No, I generally don't have it with the rice. And it's a wild rice. Wild rice is a seed. There's a little bit of grain rice in there, but it's a seed. Seeds are good. You want to eat lots of seeds. So those are our pairings for today, Jill. All about boosting the immune system, high in iron, high in fiber, high in protein.
This is really, really wonderful.
Good.
Oh,
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
so delicious.
Maybe I should have a piece, huh? Can I share? Okay, I'm going to share.
And I want to show the viewers the cooked lentil versus the raw.
Oh yeah, big difference. And these are dry, not soaked. But yeah, you can taste the white wine, you can taste the earthiness of the mushroom, you can taste the earthiness of the seed from the wild rice.
So balanced,
Yeah.
and you can taste each individual ingredient.
There's only a handful of ingredients there, maybe 5, right? It's really, really, it's a great dish, so enjoy it.
Thank you again, Doctor. We really appreciate your information, your willingness to share your expertise, and to make it meaningful so that we really can eat healthy and we can improve our health.
You have to make an investment in your health. Diet is a focal point, exercise is a focal point, a healthy mental attitude is a focal point, taking chiropractic adjustments is a focal point because it keeps the spine balanced and healthy so you don't collapse on yourself when you get older, so you're tall and strong. So if I can empower the viewers to do that, it's been a successful show, so thank you, Jill.
And if they'd like to contact you, how may they do so?
At the office. Call the office, 908-771-0220. Check me out on YouTube. My name, Dr. DeFabio. Yeah, I'm right in Berkeley Heights.
Thank you.